Hello, everybody. Mr. Brown here with day 9 of our 31 Days of Wisdom. Today, we're going to cover Proverbs chapter 9 because it's the ninth day. When I read this passage, my first thought that came to my mind was a song I listened to as a kid by a group called Black Sheep. The song was called "The Choice Is Yours." Now, the hook or the hook of the song said, "You can get with this, or you can get with that. You can get with this, or you can get with that. You can get with this, or you can get with that. You can get with this, because this is where it's at." I think of that song. Also think of my friend Ron Hortman, who would probably be dancing about this time because he was a dancer. He was a pretty good dancer. I didn't dance. He did. His little group had a couple people in the group. What's up, Ron? To do some dancing. Now Ron is a comedian, so check him out at ronhortman.com. Yeah, I just gave an endorsement to a good friend I grew up with. Actually, it's so funny. We grew up together, and we went to school together. We know just since first grade, and they used to call him Arnold, and I used to be Willis because he was short, had these big chubby cheeks. Anyway, that's not what I'm talking about today. But what's up, Ron? Check him out, ronhortman.com. But you can get with this, you can get with that. I think that's exactly what's going on here in Proverbs chapter 9, because on one hand, you have wisdom and foolishness are both depicted as women, and you have a choice. And wisdom gives all of her credentials, who she is, what she offers, and then foolishness, or as my Bible calls it, the way of folly, gives all her ways, right? So it's kind of like the dating game. See, dating game was one of the games back in the day, before the Bachelor and a Bachelorette, where you go out and make out with somebody and kiss all on them and live in the same house. They ain't do all that back then. It was just simple a game where they have one contestant and three people, bachelors or bachelorettes, or somebody wanted to date them, and they wouldn't even get to see them. They would sit behind this area and they would ask questions, and based on those questions, the contestant had to pick one of them at the end of the show, and they would go out on a date together. Well, I think of this as the same way. As you read Proverbs chapter 9, there's so much in here, like verses 1 through 10. Wisdom, the way of wisdom, or is depicted as a woman again, talks about all she has to offer. For an example, she offers herself. She says in verse 6, "Leave your simple ways and live, and walk in the way of insight. Whoever corrects a scoffer gets himself abuse, and whoever reproves a wicked man encourages injury." So she goes on about all the great things of wisdom that she has to offer. But then in verse 13 through 18, folly or foolishness gives her. They're both out in the street corners saying, "Hey, come to me, come, basically come date me, come hang out with me, take me with your life." And I also thought of a song by Lecrae, the Christian rap artist, who said, "I used to date destruction, but now we broke up." So in other words, wisdom and foolishness are asking for our attention and for us to take them on a date, so to speak. Well, I want to focus on two verses. Verse 11 is where wisdom sums up her offer, and she says this: "For by me your days will be multiplied, and your years will be added to your life." So she says, hey, you come out, hang out with me, I will benefit you in this way. But foolishness, on the other hand, says this in verse 17: "Stolen water is sweet, and bread eaten in secret is pleasant." I have this vivid imagination, so I would probably hear that verse like this: "Stolen water is sweet, and bread eaten in secret is pleasant." Okay, that was creepy. But that's what I hear. This seductive voice saying, hey, stolen water is sweet, and bread eaten in secret is pleasant. And those are the offers out there. So let's talk about the offer of wisdom. "For by me your days will be multiplied, and your years will be added, to your life." So when you take the way of wisdom, the promise is your years will be added to your life, that you will be making choices that will add to your life and not take away from your life. I've met people many years over the years, and you can meet some people and they're young, but they've been using drugs and living a party life, and they look so much older. By making those bad choices and being in those horrible situations they've made to put themselves in, they just look much older than they are because of all the negative things they put into their bodies and the lifestyle they live. So I think by being wise and taking away of wisdom, you will add years to your life. Not only years, but quality of life by choosing well, by making good choices and following the way of wisdom. But the way of folly or foolishness makes a promise, but there's an outcome to this promise. Look at verse 17 again. "Stolen water is sweet, and bread eaten in secret is pleasant." Now I believe that's true. That sometimes when you sneak around, it feels good in the moment. Like one of my pastors used to say, you sneak and dive. I forgot what he called it, but he bumping, grinding. I don't know. It was some saying where you get around. You out there sneaking around doing your thing, and you don't think anybody's catching you. But when you sometimes get something in secret, it kind of feels pleasant. Like, don't nobody know I'm doing. I'm sneaking around. I'm not getting caught. But there's something called a conscience. And for those of us, the followers of Christ, the Holy Spirit will convict you of sin. So although it may be in the moment, stolen water may be sweet in the moment, and bread eaten in secret is pleasant. But look at verse 18, and Solomon leaves us with his son. He says, but he does not know that the dead are there, and that the guests are in the depths of hell. The reality is that foolishness will lead you in one direction. Wisdom will lead you in another direction. The choice is yours. Which will you choose? Because every choice you make will make you who you are. You make choices, and your choices make you. That sign is somewhere. I don't know where I am. I keep seeing that sign. It's stuck in my head. You make choices, and your choices make you. So Proverbs chapter 9 reminds us today, you got a choice to make. Everyone has a choice to make. Will you choose the way of wisdom, which promises you life and a quality of life, or will you choose foolishness? And this is what people don't understand. The choices you make now will impact you, not only now, but later. A lot of times as young people, we make choices. We think, I'm invincible. I can do this now. It won't hurt me. Even in the way we eat. I hang around students all the time, and they're always joking about drinking all these Mountain Dews or all this caffeine. Or there was this new thing called Vino. I forgot what it's called, but it's like this little energy drink, and kids were just drinking it straight. You're supposed to put it in water, but they were just drinking it straight and, laughing about, oh, it feels so good. But you know what? That stuff is going to catch up with you one day. And so the choices you make now will impact your now, later, and in the future, years from now. And so as you read Proverbs 9, really meditate on what wisdom has to offer and also what foolishness has to offer, because you got to make the choice. The choice is yours. You can get with this, or you can get with that. You can get with this, or you can get with that. You can get with this, or you can get with that. You can get with this, because this wisdom is where it's at. Thanks for joining us for day 9 of 31 Days of Wisdom. Please visit our website, proclaimministries.com, find out more, and we would love to hear from you. You got something to say? I would love to hear it. Leave a comment, post it on Facebook, on proclaimministries.com, on Twitter, on anywhere else you want to leave a comment. And don't forget the 24-hour feedback phone, 530-535-8121. I'd love to hear from you. So remember, you can get with this or that. You can get with this. You can get with that. You can get with this. You can get with that. You can get with this. But wisdom is where it's at.